1. Why 2009 was special. The Bicentennial Program. 2009 marked two milestones for the Lincoln Cent, the 200th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth and the 100th anniversary of the first Lincoln Cent, 1909. To honor that, the U.S. Mint issued a year-long series of 4 reverse designs, one for each major phase of Lincoln's life: birth and early childhood in Kentucky, formative years in Indiana, professional life in Illinois, and presidency in Washington, D.C. Each design appeared on cents produced at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, meaning there are 8 regular circulating issues for collectors to track in 2009. The mint's program and the release schedule are documented on the U.S. Mint's site and in mint releases from 2009. 2. The Formative Years Design Symbolism and Sculpting. The Formative Years reverse depicts a young Abraham Lincoln seated on a log, taking a break from axe work to read. The design aims to capture Lincoln's development as a self-educated young man while he lived in Indiana, 1816 to 1830. The visual is simple, almost meditative: a seated figure, log, small tree silhouette and a clear legend noting 1 cent and United States of America. On the obverse, the familiar Lincoln portrait, designed by Victor David Brenner, remains, with the mint mark, D for Denver, appearing to the right of the date on Denver strikes. The Mint released the Formative Years design to circulation on May 14, 2009. 3. Mintages and how common the Denver strikes are. The two mints together produced hundreds of millions of 2009 cents. Final official figures show the Formative Years design had very large combined mintages, about 363,600,000 pieces from Denver and 376 million from Philadelphia, for a total of roughly 739,600,000 formative years cents across both mints. That massive output explains why the typical circulated coin is still common today. Among the 4 2009 designs, the Presidency Cent had the lowest mintage, making it the scarcest of the 4, while Formative Years was one of the most plentiful. These mintage figures are widely published in mint and numismatic sources. 4. Ordinary value versus why some are ultra-rare. For everyday collectors, the story is straightforward. Most 2009 formative years cents that show wear are worth face value, 1 cent, or a small premium if uncirculated. But the phrase, ultra-rare, in market listings usually refers not to the typical circulated coin but to exceptional specimens or recognized varieties/errors that are uncommon and sought by specialists. There are 3 main categories that create rarity and higher value. Mint state survivors of very high-grade coins graded by PCGS or NGC as MS-67, MS-68, MS-69, or MS-70RD, red, that are sharply struck and fully original. High-grade survivors from modern circulation are rarer than average, and top grades command premiums. PCGS.com. Attractive error or variety coins, die defects, double dies, off-center strikes, repunched mint marks, or filled die varieties that are documented and scarce. Some errors bring big prices, but the rarity depends on the specific variety and firm attribution. Several 2009 cents have documented varieties that sell for premiums at auction. Bullion Shark. Special collector pieces, coins from original U.S. Mint rolls or bank boxes that remained unsearched, proof-like specimens, or examples with pedigree/auction history. Occasionally a bank box or a roll yields a run of pristine coins that bring attention and drive prices for a time. Because the core mintage for the Formative Years Denver strike is so large, truly ultra-rare examples are those that combine both scarcity and desirability, e.g., an MS-69 or MS-70RD with exceptional strike and eye appeal, a certified error that appears only a handful of times in institutional collections, or pieces with strong auction records. 5. Notable varieties and errors to watch for. Several categories of 2009 cent varieties draw collector attention. Double die obverse or reverse, doubling on the obverse legends or reverse elements, e.g., doubling of 1 cent or of the date, is closely scrutinized. Not every apparent doubling is a true double die, many are die polish or hub doubling. True double dies that are certified by major graders can be valuable. Repunched mintmark RPM or repunched D can add slight value if clear and tied to a known variety reference. These are typically modest premiums and less dramatic. Off-center strikes, broad strikes, and rotated dies. Modern coining presses sometimes produce off-center strikes. Significant offsets, several millimeters or more, are collectible and can command meaningful prices depending on appeal. Die breaks and filled dies. Raised die breaks or filled die areas can create the look of extra metal or letters and are popular as variety pieces among casual collectors. Again, the premium depends on visual appeal and documentation. If you believe you found an unusual variety, have good photographs taken, both sides, close detail, and compare to a known variety registry or reference. Major variety finds are often submitted to specialist attribution services or presented at auction with provenance. 6. Market values ranges and examples. Because values vary wildly by grade and variety, here are pragmatic price ranges and some real results to give perspective. Figures are illustrative and based on recent market reports and auction results. Circulated Formative Years, 2009, D typically face value to $0.25, $1 depending on condition and seller. Most everyday pieces bought or sold on marketplace listings trade for under $1. Uncirculated BU roll coins, uncertified commonly $2 to $15 each depending on seller and strike quality. Rolls and bags sold by dealers command roll or box premiums. Certified mint state, MS60, MS65 modest premiums, often $5 to $50 depending on grade and red coloration, RD, preservation. High certified grades, MS66, MS70 RD. This is where premiums become meaningful. Auction and dealer listings show that MS67 RD or higher examples can fetch hundreds of dollars. There are reported results, heritage and specialist sales, with MS67 pieces in the low hundreds and rarer MS69/MS70 pieces commanding more. For instance, market summaries note MS67 RD auction realizations and specialist sale prices into the low hundreds. Documented error varieties and scarce attributions. A nicely presented, certified error or double die might reach several $100s if scarce and desirable. Exceptionally dramatic errors, large off-center strikes, major double dies tied to a known FS/variety number, can exceed that. A quick caution, many online listings advertise rare or ultra-rare for ordinary BU 2009 cents because sellers want attention. Verify any claim by checking certification numbers, auction pedigrees, and recent comparable sales from reputable auction houses, Heritage, Stack's Bowers, Great Collections, or PCGS/NGC population reports. 7. How to authenticate and assess value, grading and tips. Third-party grading. If you own what you think is a high-grade or error specimen, consider sending it to PCGS or NGC for grading and variety attribution. A certification gives you the firm grade, photos, and a population report that helps determine scarcity. Proven auction lots with certification typically sell for more. PCGS.com. Examine strike details for Lincoln cents. Look at the detail in Lincoln's hair and beard, the relief on the log and figure, and the sharpness of the date and mint mark. Strong strike and full, original red color, RD, significantly raise value for copper alloy modern cents. Compare population and census. Use PCGS/NGC population reports for the exact date/mint/grade and consult auction archives for realized prices of comparable coins. This helps you avoid overpaying. PCGS.com. Photograph carefully if you plan to sell or seek attribution. Take high-resolution photos in good lighting showing the obverse, reverse, and close-ups of any anomaly. Submit these when asking for a field opinion in reputable collecting forums or to a grader. 8. Why some 2009 bank box stories caused price spikes. From time to time collectors and dealers have reported that unsearched bank boxes or rolls produced a cluster of high-grade or attractive pieces, sometimes leading to temporary price spikes for that date/design. These events are often short-lived. Once supply is recognized, prices usually settle. That said, a documented bank box find with many high-grade examples can make an otherwise common date suddenly newsworthy. Always check whether premiums are sustained by auction evidence or are simply speculative hype. 9. Practical advice for collectors and sellers. If you're collecting, focus on assigning realistic goals: a quality uncirculated set, or certified high-grade singles. For novelty and fun, collect notable varieties and errors, but insist on documentation and certification for anything claimed as rare. If you think you found a rare piece, document it, get multiple high-quality photos, and consider submitting it to PCGS/NGC for grading and attribution. Check population reports and prior auction results before pricing. If you're selling, be honest about condition, include certification numbers and photos, and compare with completed auction sales rather than asking prices. Overpriced, rare listings for common BU 2009D coins are common and can slow a sale. For investors, modern copper cents are speculative. Only a small slice, top certified grades, documented error varieties, tend to appreciate significantly. Most pieces remain modest in value. 10. Final perspective is the 2009D Formative Years Ultra Rare. In strict terms, no ordinary 2009D Formative Years cents are not ultra rare. The Denver mintage numbers were very high, and millions exist in circulation and in uncirculated bags and rolls. However, ultra-rare status can apply to specific subtypes: exceptionally high certified grades, MS69/MS70RD, documented and scarce error attributions, or a small number of famed pedigree pieces. Those specific coins are what collectors and auction houses call rare or ultra-rare, and they can command premiums in the hundreds of dollars or more, depending on the evidence. So context matters. The date is common, certain individual specimens are rare and valuable. CoinNews.net. Sources and suggested next steps. I drew the background and mintage numbers from the U.S. Mint and Mint mintage summaries, grading/population and release data from PCGS and market write-ups, and recent market commentary and auction notes for value context. For further reading and to verify prices for a specific certified coin, check these references. U.S. Mint Lincoln Bicentennial 1 cent program, design/release details. PCGS coin facts for 2009D Formative Years, grading/population. PCGS.com. Mintage summaries and analysis, CoinNews/CoinMintages. CoinNews.net. Recent market/auction commentary and error lists, CoinWeek, Bullion Sharks, CoinAppraiser. CoinWeek.com. If you want, I can now turn this into a YouTube script tailored to your thumbnail style. Short intro, 6 to 8 talking points, call to action, useful since I see you work on coin thumbnails. Create a short sale description for an eBay/WhatsApp listing if you want to sell one. Help evaluate photos of a coin you have. If you upload images, I can point out features a grader will notice, but I can't grade it officially. Which of those would you like next?